How two farmers turned 30 local goats into 600 Boer goats on free range in a Ugandan village. Rapid growth of goat farming. The farm expanded from 30 local goats to 600 Boer goats within 3 years through strategic breeding and management. High market value. A purebred Boer goat in Uganda can be sold for at least 2 million Ugandan shillings, making the venture highly profitable. Genetics and crossbreeding. The use of Boer goats for crossbreeding significantly improved growth rates, meat yield, and disease resistance. From IT and HR to agriculture, the founders, graduates in IT and human resource management, shifted to farming after struggling to find jobs post-COVID-19. Initial investment and scaling. The venture started with 5 million Ugandan shillings, which was used to buy 30 goats and a quality breeding buck. Free-range farming model. The goats are raised on free range, making them resilient and adapted to local conditions, reducing feed costs. Disease prevention and management. Vaccinations are crucial for preventing common goat diseases such as PPR, pneumonia, and off disease. Business and employment creation. The venture now employs over 50 people and is expanding through a community-based organization supporting youth and women in agriculture. Future plans and expansion. The farmers aim to scale up operations, improve breeding stock, and expand their market reach, including potential exports. 600 Boer goats in 3 years, showing an annual growth rate of approximately 200 goats per year. 2 million Ugandan shillings per goat, meaning their stock is worth nearly 1.2 billion Ugandan shillings. 30 goats to 52 in the first cycle due to a high twinning rate, emphasizing the importance of selective breeding. Vaccination schedule helps maintain a 100% healthy herd, reducing mortality and improving profitability. How did the farmers ensure the financial sustainability of their goat farm? The farmers ensured the financial sustainability of their goat farm through several key strategies. Initial capital investment. They started with 5 million Ugandan shillings, which is about $1,500. This was used to purchase 30 local goats and a quality breeding buck. This allowed them to begin crossbreeding and increasing their stock. Selective breeding for profitability. Instead of relying on local goats alone, they introduced Boer goats, which grow faster, have higher meat yields, and command better market prices. This allowed them to sell high-value goats and reinvest in expansion. Free-range farming to reduce costs. They adopted a free-range grazing system, minimizing the cost of feed and infrastructure. Unlike intensive systems that require expensive feed, their goats graze naturally, making the business more cost-effective. Vaccination and disease management. They implemented preventative healthcare, including vaccinations against common goat diseases. This reduced mortality rates and ensured that a higher percentage of their herd reached market weight, increasing overall profitability. Scaling up through community partnerships. They formed a community-based organization, partnering with other youth and women in agriculture. This collaboration allowed them to scale their business, share resources, and gain access to support programs. High market demand and sales strategy. With a selling price of at least 2 million Ugandan shillings, which is about $530 per goat, they generated substantial revenue. Additionally, they established a direct sales network, ensuring quick turnover and reduced dependency on middlemen. Diversification and expansion plans. Beyond selling live goats, they plan to expand into meat production and possibly export breeding stock to other regions, further increasing their revenue streams. Their strategic planning, efficient cost management, and focus on breeding high-value goats have allowed them to turn a small initial investment into a multi-million Ugandan shilling business. What challenges did they face in scaling from 30 to 600 goats? Growing from 30 local goats to 600 Boer goats in 3 years was not without obstacles. The farmers faced several key challenges. Limited starting capital. They began with only 5 million Ugandan shillings, which is about $1,500, insufficient for large-scale operations. They had to reinvest profits from selling goats and seek partnerships to expand. Feeding and land management. Although they use free-range farming, ensuring enough grazing land for an increasing herd was a challenge. Overgrazing can lead to nutritional deficiencies, requiring strategic pasture management, disease outbreaks and health management. Initially, they lacked knowledge about goat vaccination and lost some animals due to preventable diseases like PPR or pneumonia, ORF disease, and CBPP or contagious bovine pleuropneumonia. Learning about and implementing a vaccination schedule helped resolve this issue: labor and farm management. As the farm grew, more hands were needed. They addressed this by employing over 50 people and forming a community-based organization to involve local youth and women in goat farming, breeding and growth rates. Scaling up required selective breeding to improve goat genetics. They had to transition from local goats to Boer goats, which required careful crossbreeding and managing inbreeding risks by introducing new breeding bucks. Infrastructure and housing. With 600 goats, managing their shelter and security was a challenge. Unlike traditional farms, they opted for a minimalist approach, focusing on health and vaccination rather than expensive structures. Market access and sales. Selling goats at a good price required networking and direct marketing. They had to build connections with buyers locally and internationally while ensuring proper documentation for export. Overcoming challenges. Despite these obstacles, the farmers remained persistent, invested in education and research, and focused on scaling strategically by reinvesting profits and forming partnerships. Their ability to adapt and innovate helped them achieve massive growth in just 3 years. How does the free-range farming model impact the health and productivity of goats? The free-range farming model used by these Ugandan farmers plays a crucial role in ensuring healthy and productive goats. Here's how: natural diet and cost efficiency. Goats graze on natural vegetation, which provides a diverse and nutrient-rich diet, reducing the need for expensive commercial feeds. This method significantly lowers feed costs, making farming more sustainable and profitable. Stronger and disease-resistant goats. Since the goats move freely, they develop stronger muscles and improved immune systems compared to stall-fed goats. Exposure to natural conditions reduces stress and builds disease resistance, leading to lower mortality rates. Fewer health complications. Goats raised in confined spaces are more prone to infections and parasites due to poor ventilation and overcrowding. Free-range goats, on the other hand, experience fewer respiratory and digestive diseases requiring less veterinary intervention. Climate adaptation. The free-range system adapts to Uganda's dry climate, making it ideal for goat farming in areas where dairy farming may struggle. Boer goats in particular thrive in arid environments, making them a perfect fit for free-range conditions. Low infrastructure costs. Unlike intensive goat farming that requires expensive structures, the farmers focus on vaccination and disease prevention, rather than costly housing. The goats sleep outside, further reducing setup and maintenance costs. Increased productivity and profitability. Free-range goats grow naturally and quickly, especially when crossbred with Boer goats, which gain weight faster and fetch higher market prices. With minimal input costs, the profit margin is higher, ensuring long-term sustainability. Key takeaway. By adopting free-range goat farming, these farmers have built a cost-effective, disease-resistant, and highly profitable business model. It allows them to scale up easily while keeping operational costs low, a perfect approach for smallholder farmers looking to maximize productivity and sustainability. Remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more insights.